Yo, what's up you guys? I snuck out for a couple hours today to do some fishing on my local stream, and I thought I would talk to you guys about my 5 favorite Euro nymphing flies for the winter season. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but everybody's got their favorite flies for the winter months, or a lot of us do, right? And so I thought I would just take some time to talk to you guys today about my favorite 5 flies for this time of the year. These flies, they'll work in the fall, which is right now, and they'll work in the springtime too, but the primary use case is for the winter time, right? And you'll see that this list is not hugely different from my summertime list, but there are some variations and some tweaks that I do to this list specifically for the winter time. But I gotta tell you guys, I'm gonna try to catch some fish in this water right here before I get into this list for you. I want to see if I can find some fish. I haven't been to this spot in a while. I'll show you what it looks like. So that's the water. I'm gonna jump in there and see if we can find a couple fish or not. Okay, you guys, fly number 1 on this list is the Sculpin streamer. That's right. Any sort of jigged olive Sculpin style streamer will work well as this spot in your box. I'll throw a link to the tying video for the one that I like up at the top here, so you can check that out if you want. The reason I like this fly is because you kind of face a couple conditions in the winter. You have low clear water, or you have high runoff, kind of, not necessarily runoff, but higher levels of water from rain and changing conditions. And so when the water's clear, I like a muted Sculpin pattern like this, because a lot of times those fish are like hanging out in crevices and cut banks, and they're just chilling out, right? They're hiding, they feel a little bit vulnerable, and so they want to hide. And so throwing something like a streamer, a small streamer, can entice them to come out from that hiding spot and get that big meal, right? They think it's worth it to jump out, snag that. They've got that snack, and then they can go right back to their hiding spot, right? And then on the opposite side of things, when the water's high, you need something that will create a silhouette in the water so that the fish can see it easier and key in on it, right? So it works well in both of those conditions, and that's why I keep it in my box. And like I said, I like to tie it a little bit more muted in the winter, because a lot of times you're fishing in overcast conditions. And so you know, if it's overcast, the sun can't reflect that flash. And so it almost makes the fly look a little bit faker when there's no sun around. So I like to tie a little bit duller pattern for that kind of condition, right? So that's fly number 1, the Sculpin streamer. Put it in your box, let me know what you think of it, and give it a go. Fly number 2 that I'd have in my box, you guys, is an egg pattern. And I know what you're saying an egg's not a fly, I'm not gonna fish an egg, but all that's fine. If you don't like eggs, ignore this one. I think that eggs are perfectly fine to fish as long as you do it in a correct way. Don't fish eggs on a red. Don't do anything nasty like that. Fish them responsibly if you're going to. But to me, an egg is something that's natural, that lives in the water, that a fish eats all the time. They eat them all throughout the winter. It's a food source, right? When they don't have a lot of other food to eat, and it's a high protein food source. And so it's important to them. So I have no qualms with fishing an egg, but if you do, that's fine. Don't fish eggs, ignore this. I do 2 eggs. I'll do a yellow and a pink. The yellow is kind of a whitefish egg, and I'll do it in a smaller size, and then I'll do a pink one and a bigger size, and I'll vary my weight. I'll have them all the way from like a 2 mil egg up to a 4 millimeter bead egg for all different water types and conditions. But like I said, don't fish them on a red. But also, I'd say, you might not think they're a fly, but I'd say give them a go if you haven't. They are amazing in the wintertime. They will pull fish. They will pull fish from spots that you would have never imagined there was a fish, because they want that food source so bad, and it's so valuable to them, that eggs can just be killer if you hit it right. So that's fly number 2. It's the EGGSTASY egg. Give it a try, and don't hate me for suggesting this. Or do, I don't care. Okay, so fly number 3 on my list is a BWO nymph. The one that I am showing you guys here is a France fly in olive. This is a great fly where I currently live. There is a hatch of BWOs almost every single day where I'm at, and so it's really important for me to have this fly in my box. I think that In most places, you're gonna find this fly to be super effective. Most western rivers have a good BWO hatch at some point during the winter, and so this is an important one to have in your box. The France fly is awesome because it's real durable and you can whip these things up really fast. You could do anything though. You could do an olive body, just like thread fly. You could do a thread Frenchie in an olive color, would also be a good alternate. Basically any green body with a little bit of dubbing, that's all it needs, a small tail, and it's a super effective fly. I like it in small sizes. So I'm mostly fishing this between a 16 and a 20 in the winter months, with a 3mm to 2mm bead. So it's a pretty small fly, and you know, but it's fun. It's easy to tie. You can whip up a bunch of them, you can fill your box, and you're gonna catch fish in the middle of the day in the winter on this fly. So put those in your box. I think they're super important. And that's fly number 3, BWO Nymph. Okay, so I can't seem to find a fish at all right now, and it just got real stormy. I don't know, you guys probably can't tell, but I'm gonna push up the trail and see. Whew. I'm gonna give one more spot a try, but I guess we'll just keep talking about those flies because we're not finding any fish right now. So back to the list. Okay, fly number 4 is for those low and clear conditions, and this is a simple is better type pattern, and that is the Walts worm. Classic Walts worm, copper bead, copper ribbing, pine squirrel dubbing. It doesn't spook the fish. It looks like a lot of things. It's a caddis fly. You know, I think in low clear water, a lot of times if you throw on a bright bead or something like that, you can have a tendency to push those fish away, or you can spook some of the skittish ones. And so fishing something that's really muted and simple, you know, it doesn't spook them, right? And there's a lot of days where they just don't want to be spooked. They want simple and minimal and not over the top. I know that I have a tendency to be like, well, I'm gonna put a bright bead on it, I'm gonna put a hot tag on it, I'm gonna do all these things. But sometimes keeping it simple is better in that low clear water, and that's why I will fish just a basic Waltz worm, right? 3 materials, that's it. And this is one though that I will vary the size with in the bead size. So I'll tie it from a 2mm bead all the way up to a 4mm bead, and I will change the colors, you know, silver, copper, like, you know, change bead colors and see what's working. But this is a great winter fly when you have low clear water and you need to keep it simple. That's the Waltz worm. Okay, you guys, we've reached number 5 on this list, and that is a Perdigon fly tied with an orange Perdigon body. So this is kind of the opposite of what I was talking about earlier with the less is more, low clear water, simple fly. Sometimes in that low clear water they don't want the simple fly, and you need something with a little bit more flash, and that is this fly. It's an orange Butano Perdigon style fly. Really simple to tie. It's just a tail, a bead, and then that body material, right? Super simple. You can whip them out quick. And sometimes, I'm not saying that every time this fly is a killer, but there are days where I'll go out there and I'll be like, okay, it's BWO time. I'm gonna put on that France fly, and I'm running that France fly through the water, and they're not responding to it, and I'll switch over to that Butano Perdigon, and they will just start eating it like crazy. So every day is different. You never know what it's gonna be like. But that is fly number 5, and that is the Butano Perdigon. I'd also give it a go in some other colors, like a purple or a blue. This is an orange, and that's kind of my go-to in the winter. So yeah, tie it up, put it in your box, and let me know how it works for you. Okay, you guys, those are my 5 favorite flies for the wintertime Euro nymphing. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite 5 flies are, or if there's anything you think I missed. I'm sure you guys are thinking, well, why doesn't he have a stonefly on the list? I'm just not a big fan of fishing stoneflies. I don't know why, they're just not my thing. I've fished them in the past, they work great. So if I was gonna throw in a 6 fly, it would be the stonefly, and any sort of your favorite variation of that. But that's my list. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want, that would be awesome, it helps out a lot. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday in another video. Thanks, go catch some fish.